I'm good, thanks. Good to meet up with you again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure talking to you, sir. So, we just like to say, as Jimmy Sports Pro podcast to you, congratulations for making the ride for the rest of the season.
Thanks. It's good to get back in the car for the rest of this year and just working towards next year now. We want to kind of build on what we learned this year and take that into 2016. No idea what's going to happen at this point for 16, but just trying to keep the focus on getting the best results we can, trying to improve the car, working with the team, and just see what happens. So it's always fun to be back at an IndyCar race. It's just a good atmosphere. It's a good mix of serious, hard racing and also enjoying the racing. So I love it.
With this track compared to Milwaukee last week, I mean, they're both very equal, but it seems like we carry a little bit more speed here than Milwaukee. What kind of downforce are you going with this week?
Yeah, it's very similar size to Milwaukee, but this track here in Iowa has got a lot of banking. So, Milwaukee is almost flat. I think it's 9 degrees or 11 degrees of banking. It's very, very little. Whereas here you've got huge banking. It's like a mini Texas Motor Speedway. So, the G-force in the corner are a lot higher. The car will turn faster. We're doing about 180, 185 miles an hour in qualifying. So, the downforce level, as far as numbers, I don't know yet. You want it just enough so you're flat, but not too much so you're scrubbing speed or carrying that extra drag. Because the more downforce you have, the more drag you've got to carry on those straights. And even though the straights aren't very long, you still need to get down them pretty good. So, that's the big question for qualifying: is how much downforce can you take off, still keep it flat out, and get a good lap time. So. It's always a fun race here. It's such high banking. You can choose your lines, pick a different line, get around the guy ahead. So I always enjoy the race. It's a lot of fun.
Now they've changed the qualifying format from it used to be qualifying on Saturday, race on Sunday, but now they've been doing the last 2 weeks qualifying and then a few hours later race. How do you feel with that format? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I don't mind, to be honest, and I know some of the regular guys in IndyCar don't like the change, but because I haven't been in it full time, I've gone across, I've done Pont Marie and then Pikes Peak, so you don't really have a schedule, you're not in a rhythm, you're not in that routine. So to me, it didn't make any difference. You get in a car, drive, get out of the car, make some changes, get in and get and drive. So Milwaukee seemed to work quite well. Hopefully it gave more to the fans that came on race day. It's tight for the crews to turn things around between qualifying and the race. But I thought it worked well. I thought it put on a good show, and I can see this being more of a pattern in the future.
Now, Milwaukee, you were doing quite well. You even led a lap, but then, engine failure. So, things happen. It's racing. But how did Milwaukee feel to you? Do you feel like at the end you didn't let go, you had a chance, or did you see that you speed up in the past week?
It was great. We didn't qualify fantastic. We were reasonable. I think we're down in 16th, but dropped back off the initial start. Really loose car. But after 2 laps, I realised that was a good thing because everyone else started to understeer and push wide, and I could just take the inside line. So, as the race went on, my car just got better and better and better, and I thought it was great. We were able to pass people. I was moving forwards. I was running with Graham and Seabass and Helio and people like that. A couple of stops before the end, and I thought, wow, this is great. We have a chance of being in the top 5. I don't know if we got a good enough car to win, but we got a chance to be in the top 5. I felt it was good enough to win, but the circumstances, you just never know. And then we had a problem in the pits. The wheel gun failed, so we lost a lap, maybe 2 in there. And time kind of stopped, so it seemed like the whole day went by. We just sat there for 20, 30 seconds. And then after that, we had a problem with the engine, and that started to lose power and let go. And I didn't realize it was losing power. I was just getting frustrated I couldn't pass people. That was way quicker in the corners. You know, coming out the corners almost flat, and you pull out alongside people, and you just slowly drop back. So this doesn't feel right. And you know, you just try harder, and eventually it lets go. So it's racing. You know, hopefully we can put that behind us and be just as good with the mechanical side of the car here in Iowa, and we'll take that forward.
Great. Now you were supposed to do Pikes Peak. Obviously, it didn't pan out because of what they were problems they were having with the LMP2 car. Are you going to try again next year if the opportunity presents itself?
I'd love to. That was a lot of fun. Great event. You know, it's a pretty serious deal with the big cliffs and the huge drops.
Yeah.
There's no runoff, there's no gravel trap, there's no walls. It's just
There's no room for error.
yeah. You can't afford to even lock a tire. It's that critical. It's just you want to push the car but not slide the car in any way. The moment you overstep it, you're going off the edge of the cliff. So a lot of respect for the people that do that, and great event. So I want to go back. I don't know if I get the opportunity. I'd like to think I will, but it was a shame this year we had one where the turbo kept failing and parts of the turbo would go through and damage the engine. So it was a tough deal, but
Was it because like it was like too much of an uphill bank and the turbines weren't used to winding up at high energy?
I think it was more of an insulation issue. It was a different engine, different turbo, different insulation to what they normally run on that car. It had lots of power. Well, I say lots of power. It had 660 horsepower at sea level, which for Pikes Peak is pretty low. But it had nearly 800 foot-pounds of torque. So the couple of laps I did down at Pikes Peak International Raceway, it didn't really matter what gear you were in, it was going to pull and accelerate. So that was a lot of fun, and I thought it should have been quite interesting on the mountain itself. But the problem was more with the insulation of that turbo. So it wasn't the turbo, it was the parts that held the turbo that failed and damaged the turbo, which damages the engine. And
Yeah, I mean, we were really looking forward to watching you do it. Pikes Peak's just a crazy race. So watching you do it in that ESN LMP2 car would have been great to see. But hey, next year hopefully we'll ride in the car. You won't have to think about it.
Yeah, I want to be here full time, but if there's a gap in the schedule, I'd love to go back.
Yeah, of course. And any plans for Daytona 24 next year, Jack?
Right now, no plans, nothing's lined up. I'd love to do it. I always enjoy driving with Michael Shank and his team. They do such a nice job that it's a lot of fun, a lot of good guys in that team, and it's a good atmosphere. So I'd love to do it, see what happens. There's lots of things that we want to do, and just got to see how it all plays out.
But first and foremost, Iowa, Corn 300. Coming up tomorrow, guys. This interview we're doing the day before, so it's just practice today for you guys. Just trying to get the car. Now, do you like a more loose car or more tight car? Like, what do you prefer?
On the road and street circuits, typically more loose. The short ovals, I mean, Milwaukee were loose and it was fast, so I guess trying to get that balance just right, so we're right on edge. We don't want to be too loose because we lose too much time in the first few laps. But if we got understeer or it's pushing, it's going to be a long, slow night. So as close to perfect as possible. That's what's going to get this race won.
I don't want. The qualifying's going to be weird because qualifying, you're going to be qualifying in 94-degree heat, but you're going to be racing in 70 degrees. So it's going to be a really challenge for your engineers tomorrow night. That's for sure. Justin, I just want to say thank you for spending some time on the Indy Sports Car Podcast with us today, and nothing but good luck for the rest of the year, sir.
Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.